Hush descends on Sandy Park, which just seems all wrong. But there we are. This is where we are right now, and it's been punched back downfield by Simmons, gathered in by Morahan, and here's Pietau. Bristol fans delighted to see him back fit after a lot of problems with his Achilles. Fabulous try last week as well, of course, that little deft touch. Randall whizzing round on the loop, and now Lango onto the ball. Joyce carries into the heart of those black shirts. Sinclair next up, man who made such an impact last week. Sheedy managed to get that away off the outside edge of the boot. It was a slightly late decision, out of necessity. This is Jack Walsh, his first start for the Chiefs at full-back. And onwards, Hidalgo Klein. He'll work a little bit of space close to the ruck. Walsh offering himself up. Skinner drafted in late on account of illness.
Prepared to deny Bristol, deny Exeter Chiefs the ball as it goes to the
very nearly brilliantly taken by Woodburn. It's swept up by Luatua. Earl taking on the defenders, taking on Slade. Ball is dislodged, yes, on account of the single COVID case that they had in their camp.
Penalties versus 17 they gave away to Wasps, and this is the Exeter.
Stay, Sam.
Johnny Hill darts forwards, and then Messier
will be delighted with that outcome. Really foiled the line out, got the penalty. Still saying please. So
I've asked for a gap. Please step back.
No, he's not.
Yeah, patience has worn thin already. Luatua brings Nathan Hughes into the equation, where Armand is waiting for him, and Randall's straight away onto it. Lovely dummy as well. He's gone past Whitten, threads it forwards. Early's after it, lightning quick. Back goes Hidalgo Klein, and the ball is still loose.
Well,
This game, just a bag of energy, isn't he, Randall? Playing really well at the moment. Morahan disrupted, and away comes Ollie Devoto with the ball for the Chiefs.
It's a knock on by Black in the air. Thank you.
Not forwards and
we'll just show you a replay of one that didn't complete.
3 penalties and a free kick. If that doesn't improve, we're sending Lawrence down. He'll sort it out.
Exactly. Right, Bristol, your first shot. Let's have a go.
Bristol, please.
Nicely taken in by Joyce. Doing battle with Sam Skinner, but this looks promising for the Bears.
You can't crawl.
Right up until the point that they took an extra little bit of a wriggle, but fortunately the infringement from the line-out enables them to retain possession.
Yeah, there'll be another line-out.
Here's Byrne for Bristol, take 2. And again it's Joyce.
More backwards.
And they've worked it nicely round the front, making some headway here. Randall resting over it. Atwood waits. Stopped on the gain line. Randall again, this time for Nathan Hughes, who's shut down low and early by Williams.
Got to be patient here. Bristol build the attack. That's the 3rd phase now since the line out.
Randall pops it on its way again. Byrne, the tackle from Alec Hepburn is under a little bit of scrutiny. Carl Dixon seems satisfied, but he wants it checked.
Yeah, there's no contact call.
Hughes.
Sorry, to play on?
Yes, play on.
On his own. The tackle from Hepburn has been cleared.
On the ball.
On their feet. That's it. That's a bit better. That's a better latch.
Tackle now.
Go to ground now, but committing a lot of men to that breakdown on the floor.
They're also very narrow as well. At the moment, they've got 13 of 15 players now, or 12 in the 15-metre channels. Makes it very difficult to open up a side to attack.
There's Piers O'Connor trying to bust a hole right through the middle. And Cowan-Dickey goes over the top and snaffles it for the Chiefs. But off his feet as he did it.
Don't, you're getting pinged.
Yeah, that's a split second quicker. He'd probably get away with it. So
snaffling it.
Early in the air.
And that's number 6 now against X.
Byrne, this time to Luatua, transfer to Hughes at the front, and now they've got the drive on. Really meaty, everybody piling in. Over they go! Great work from Bristol, dishing out a little bit of Exeter medicine to the Chiefs.
It's a creative line out, you know. You go 2 or 3 times for the straight drop.
That point of attack, it just meant that Bristol had the numbers, they were able to pile over and get the score. Really well deserved.
Handle.
It's been coming, that score, isn't it? When you're giving away that many penalties consecutively, the momentum is against you, and you've got to say that it's exactly what Bristol deserve. Having survived the early onslaught from Exeter, they're the first team to get on the scoreboard.
Hidalgo Klein, lovely pass out for Johnny Hill, who's going to put boot to ball and try and pressurise Bristol in the backfield. Pietau does the necessary.
Just wondered if he could have had a go there, really. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just funny, isn't it? You don't have the ball for periods of time. Got the ball in space there down the flank and kicked it away.
Taken quickly from the 22. Chiefs though inside the 22.
There we go.
Ball in hand.
Shoulder and went to front row. I can tell you that now. But
I think it's Stern talking. This very much considered to be one of their super strengths as the ball is plucked out of the sky by Armand.
Good job on that. Bristol Bears, really, really good job. Ben Earl has got his hands in there. They may have even turned this over. Fantastic bit of defensive play. Well, that's twice now that they've thwarted the Chiefs, and affects the jackal in the turnover.
It's on it, it's up, and it's turned over. It's brilliant play.
It's not straight, however. Simmons for Woodburn, lovely bit of work. Walsh has done well to get it away, but it's been behind Witten. And now there are Bears swarming all around him. And again, Earl doing his level best to slow things up. Hidalgo Klein. And Woodburn stopped in his tracks, but a decent carry here from Hepburn. Takes them beyond the gain line. Simmons holds it back a little bit. Devoto, and now flying through is Slade. Lovely offload from Slade. Brilliant work from Simmons as well. Devoto was that forwards. Referee seems happy.
There's plenty out there for us in the game. We've just got to be mentally and physically tough, and some of that will be discipline, and so it's just going to get down to being hard work.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, Rob.
Thanks.
Always talks about the need to break down teams over 80 minutes as well. Sounds like the bleeding obvious, but it is the way the Chiefs tend to go about their business. Bumps in the road will happen. Certainly it's been a bumpy first 20.
I think what you translate from that, from Rob Baxter, is that Bristol have settled a lot quicker. You know, that we saw it in their warm-up. They're sharp, they're aggressive, they're at it, and they've got the bit between the teeth. And I think in the opening 20 minutes, that is the difference between the two sides at the minute. And his side need to sharpen up a bit.
Randall puts length on the ball. Woodburn underneath it, and here's Jack Walsh, this 20-year-old Aussie. Made his Premiership debut back in September. Simmons accelerates onto the ball. Hidalgo Klein fizzing around the ruck, and space is just beginning to open up on that short side. Oh, the interception from Nalango, and he's got plenty to do from here. Simmons and Woodburn kind of shadow boxing with him for a while. Where's the ball ended up? Has he managed to protect it? He has. Could do with a few more bodies in there. Bristol, as far as protection goes.
Just needed somebody to come in and play scrum half a bit quicker. They've got Exeter defence really narrow after the break, but they seem to have just recovered now.
Luatua drops the shoulder.
No, Johnny!
Hughes, he'll take on Armand, and I think that's what you might call physical neutral at that point. Armand staying in the fight sufficiently long. Randall assessing the options from here, just outside the 22. So the short side again. That's a horrible pass from Sinclair, most unlike here.
The Chiefs to put this one back in the air.
Cross trots Peartown. Sheedy, kick pass, looking to find Randrandra, finds Randrandra one-on-one with Witten. There's the offload, brilliant stuff, O'Connor.
For you, so there we go.
Oh, better. Here's Devoto. Into Piers O'Connor, who's displaying his defensive attributes now. He's become a real fixture in this Bristol Bears team. Perhaps unheralded, he's come through the Championship, of course, but really settled into Premiership life with some relish.
Let's go now, please, Sam.
Okay.
Sam.
Devoto, Simmons, Walsh did well to get that away. Was that forwards? Yes, says Carl Dixon.
Just the pressure of Bristol.
If we have any more issues that side, you'll be leaving the field and we'll get the next guys on to come and do a better job. If you can't do that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've had their stern talking to. Another one. Henry Slade.
They have the same body shapes, you can make those tackles. We've seen the benefits of it to cut out those small areas which will give Exeter opportunities.
Too much movement. There's too much movement. Too much.
Deep breaths.
Yeah, there is too much movement and not enough completed scrum.
Straight down again.
Two players.
Okay, yellow's coming.
1, 3, off you go, please.
Problem. It's not to say
Number
that it
4
won't
for Exeter, please.
carry on with
We'll find out.
new players coming on.
Yeah, well, other players will obviously pay the price as a consequence. So on comes Thomas Francis for Exeter, and Will Whitty is going to make way. And Jan Thomas onto the loose head for the Bears.
Number 8 Bristol. Number 8 Bristol, please. Thank you.
They're taking off Nathan Hughes.
Wait there. Just put this up.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can understand.
It's more like it. Hidalgo Klein does well out of the back of the hand. Devoto. Again, it's Earl over the top of it. He's done the job for Bristol, I think, here.
From Don Armand, but no issues there as Harry Randall goes quick again.
He's away. Here's Randrandra. One-handed offload to Peartown. Little dummy from the former All Black as Joe Simmons is dismissed. Sheedy. Thomas, the dummy runner. O'Connor explodes into the gap, and then Luatua wasn't. Simmons. Devoto. Again, the blitz defence working pretty effectively for Bristol.
Please.
Over halfway though, the Chiefs. Johnny Hill carries it up. The season he had in the last campaign, winning his England debut, winning the Autumn Nations Cup alongside the Premiership and Champions Cup as well. Walsh sets off at high speed through the tackle of Sheedy. Still well back behind the game line here though. Witten looks to change that and floats a very
advantage there. I mean, just he's doing best. He's already had a couple of turnovers in the game.
Making those decisions, he gets the odd one wrong, yes, but by and large he knows when to attack that breakdown.
They have the penalty advantage here, Exeter. Hidalgo Klein feeds Devoto, lovely looping run from Joe Simmons, and then the pass hasn't gone to hand. Now Lango was flying through. They've had some involvement in that as well. Woodburn slipping through tacklers. Slade, lovely hands for Skinner. Again through Simmons. Cowan-Dickey goes wide. Here's Sam Simmons, hard and straight. Much better from the Chiefs. Bearing down on the try line, they've got over it.
It's reaped its rewards for the Chiefs.
Through it goes from Joe Simmons. He doesn't miss. Yeah, and that would mean 13 men, of course. So Simmons, sharp dummy, slides past Lango.
Yeah, just so everyone's clear on that, if it's foul play, the referee can go back and sin bin and yellow card a player. As it's just a technical offence, he's got no need to go and do that.
Here, a breakdown penalty going against Bristol, just to give the Chiefs a little bit of breathing space. Sinker's enjoying himself.
Yeah, he is. Third penalty outside of scrum time that Bristol have given away consecutively now, and
Skinner pops it away to Hidalgo Klein. Devoto again. Simmons just lurking quietly. They found the edge as well. Walsh and Woodburn look to exploit it. Randrandra making the tackle together with Pietau. Simmons, Devoto. Slade takes it one-handed. Clawed down by Sheedy. Look to target the ball, but he might leave that to the rest of his men as the ball is fed out now for Slade. Hidalgo Klein. Skinner. What's left in behind. Difficult one to gather.
Knock on by Black.
Bristol have held up well here. This is Randall feeding on for Pietau. Earl and Randrandra finding now Lango. Lightning quick, we saw that the other day. Simmons again been bounced.
As Randrandra got that pass away.
O'Connor, Atwood finding himself in the open spaces. Last minute of the first half. Joyce for Sheedy. Randrandra offering himself. Pietau instead is the one who takes it on. That footwork is just as Merrick. Randrandra again keeps it alive. Here's Brian Byrne. Cowan-Dickey was very interested at that. Knows he's in on the side, so has to be careful. Sinclair now for Bristol.
Really well to hold on to that car. Sinclair really, really well.
Yeah, he was thinking about getting his hands free. He saw the space as well, so a good read by Slade too.
Sinclair. Great work from Cowan-Dickey. Apologies for the language. Randrandra. Occupational hazard, I'm afraid. All too much so in COVID times with no crowds. Byrne.
Clock's in the red, isn't it? The Bears are having a go.
Yeah, a lot of hard work going on here. They'd like some reward for it. Pietau.
Talking about earlier, you know, Bristol are going backwards. They're keeping hold of the ball, but the longer they stay here now, because they haven't made that break, they don't have the momentum. They risk an error, they risk a turnover.
Half time.
Yeah, well, we always reference the Slade boot from around this sort of region. Jake Wilmore, by the way, not coming back for Bristol. Jan Thomas is staying on. Hidalgo Klein, is there one last twist in the tail? 2.5 minutes in to the red at the end of this first half. Williams trying to chase down the ball, but it's been stolen by Bristol. Here's O'Connor. It's going to stay in field as well. Back goes Walsh. He might take us to half-time. So it's been absorbed at half-time as Joe Simmons launches it skywards. Up goes Joe Joyce and gathers it in nicely. And the Bears could do with the sort of start that they had to the first 40. Charging out the blocks and really made a statement. As you said before kick-off, Lol, they are most definitely not here to make up numbers. They want this scalp. Yeah, really would be a feather in their cap.
They're on a roll as well, aren't they? They've got that momentum. They've got 4 wins behind them. You know, they've gone well, haven't they? Beat Worcester, beat Saints, beat Quinns, Newcastle. They've won in Connaught, in Galway. So they've got that winning feeling in their camp, and they certainly brought out then. We could have played, but anyway, Bristol won't complain.
Byrne, ball through the hands. That went forward surely from Cowan-Dickey. Randall feeds Sheedy. Here's Randrandra. Not been afforded any space really to speak of as yet. Randall again, fizzing. There's Randrandra. He's hunting for work. He's hunting the ball. Somehow, with 3 men clinging onto him, gets it away. It's led to a penalty. It's been forwards with the attempted gather, so Bristol have a knock-on advantage.
I think he's wrapped.
Cling onto
To me,
it.
he's wrapped 2 arms.
He's fucking serious.
And there's another bit of language you might not have enjoyed from Carl.
She's the far side now.
high, but you can also tackle too low as well.
So on halfway as a consequence, O'Connor. On the top, he's got full box of tricks. Woodburn. Morahan not buying the dummy, and in piles now Lango to usher in Gray.
And his coaches, that they needed a little injection of something from the bench at this time. Only 5 minutes into the second half.
Well, they're getting a top-class international off the bench, that's for sure, in Johnny Gray. A huge amount of work rate, big engine. He'll put himself about as effectively as ever, you suspect, as here they try and work the inside channel through Randrandra. Sinclair. Tackle made by Hill. Sheedy. Morahan. Sheedy recognises it, looking for territories, but a little bit more height on that than perhaps he might have anticipated. Whitton gives it a fearful thump, and Randall is there to gather it for Bristol. There's Pietau. Walsh.
Stop now in front. Just stop where you are. Stay. 9, stay.
Nice control. Callum Sheedy, and a nice tackle as well there from Jack Walsh, which could be really meaningful if the Chiefs. Hidalgo Klein pops it away. Simmons attacks the space. Woodburn takes it at the second attempt. Now Lango has his number on the 10-metre line. Ooh. Chiefs having to resource that ruck very heavily to preserve possession.
Really did well there, the Chiefs, because Bristol targeted that with the counter ruck.
Devoto thought about giving it, decides to carry it up. He's got strong leg drive, very effective carrier. Walsh, nice step on him by the look of things as well. Simmons takes on Randall, but Randrandra's in there as well. Gray. And taken on by Dave Atwood. Hidalgo Klein with Woodburn looking to time his run over the head of Pietau.
Bristol were actually defending with 14 men in the line there, so there was space. I think if he gets a better roll on that kick, angles it a bit more into the corner, then they get a bit more profit out of it.
Simmons rolls forward. Now they're looking threatening on the front foot, but the pass has gone awry. Walsh just not quite as clinical as they have been.
In some pressure on Bristol.
Dickey finds Johnny Hill. This drive is looking promising. Away comes Simmons, bouncing his way forwards to within 7 metres or so. It's there for Hidalgo Klein. Williams driven back. 8th visit to the 22, ball in hand for the Chiefs. 7 points to show for it to this point. Karen Dickey. Hepburn meets Atwood, and O'Connor piles in to help out.
Yeah, he was a little bit on his own there, Hepburn, and they recognised it, Bristol.
Simmons, again the channel's all being shut down, and this Bears defence swarming up.
Back up the pitch, but Chiefs have gathered a bit more control.
Well, they're a man down at the moment, Chiefs. I think Joe Simmons taking a very long time to get back to his feet, and that is not a good sign, quite obviously, for the Exeter captain. He's in big trouble, but here goes Williams, barrelling his way forwards. He is a little isolated. Hill arrives in time. Hepburn and assorted friends look to help with a clear out. Randall breaks. Hughes drops the shoulder.
Let go, release! Let go! Don't hold him, Nathan.
Thought about the short side. Opens it up a little bit. Byrne presents it for Randall again. Sheedy's lying deeper.
Hold in front!
And the chase is on here for Noel Lango. That's going to be a long way in front of him. This is Walsh. Throws the dummy. Creates a little bit of space. Nice bit of work from Jack Walsh beyond the 10-metre line for Exeter. Has that gone forwards?
It's gone forward, didn't it?
It has.
And great set piece, awesome. Paul's done a great job. Here we go.
Thanks for your time, Pat. Terrific ball at the set piece, as Pat was mentioning, and Randall is off again, putting width on it. And it's a punch forward by Johan Lloyd, who's been brought onto the field now. Jack Walsh clears away, but we're coming all the way back.
When Harry Randall chose to play it and hit Johan Lloyd, I thought they...
A bit more speed in that ball and a bit more of an opportunity for Bristol.
Ball has ended up with Luke Cowan-Dickey, so disappointment for the Bears despite the excellence of their scrum. The line out has faltered now, taken up by Johnny Gray. Cowan-Dickey, oof, that was some collision. Big and painful. Here's Lloyd underneath the high ball, lovely step. Such a talented youngster this. Already capped by Wales. Happy to report Ryan Byrne jogging back into position.
A little bit gingerly.
Here assisting with the clear out.
Use it now, please, Max.
Possession and discipline, the watchwords of Pat Lamb as Lloyd tries to get up and disrupt.
Before relaunching their attacks.
I think Brian Byrne might be rather relieved that Will Capon is on in his place as Simmons tries to get the ball away. Woodburn is held by Morahan.
It's a really good read defensively from Bristol there. They read it on a couple of occasions. Their steps from out to in and thwarted that Chiefs attack.
Working that 5-metre channel, the ball's loose, Piatow has it. He's brought down by Witten, that was a significant tackle. Sinclair plays 9, Hughes 10, oh it's a beautiful miss pass to Luatua. Another good tackle made, rather in desperation, that one from Ollie Devoto. O'Connor can't gather it clean. It's all happening now.
Shame for Bristol, they were looking very dangerous. If Luatua could have released his hands there, they had men over, but it's good defence from Exeter.
It's simmering, isn't it? It looks like who's going to break first, who's going to blink first.
Sheedy's mistouch, Walsh has done well, he tries to put a little bit of distance on that. Piatow, first chance to really attack the line with a little bit of a run-up. Replacements assembling on the touchline for Bristol. Fresh legs required for the final push in the last 20. This is Ian Thomas, tackled by Armand.
Use it, please.
Capon. Joe Joyce for company.
Hands away, 7.
Could have easily been a high tackle, that.
Use, please.
Assistant referees just wave play on for now.
Randall with the box kick. In comes Woodburn, claims it well.
Brilliant take, really well done. Got up early, commanded the space in the air. Really well done.
Cowan-Dickey shaking off the attentions of Atwood and wrestling his way forwards.
To the Bristol Bears, and now a little bit of an arm wrestle, and it's Exeter Chiefs.
He's on for Morahan, I believe, as well. Here's Simmons. Credit to Bristol, they've managed to keep Sam Simmons relatively quiet this afternoon as well, which has been a job for everybody in the Premiership to this point.
It's a very physical game in terms of the hits in and around the gain line. May not look at it on the box, but I can believe you me, there's some sore bodies out there, some big hits going in from both sides, stopping each other's momentum.
Slade, Woodburn, read well by Randall. Cowan-Dickey, what a tackle that was from John Afoa. Slade, a little bit of space here for Slade to work in, tries to get the ball away. Thomas can't hold it for Bristol, picked up by Piatow. It's loose.
By Black here.
15, but they're playing him pretty much anywhere to get him on the field. Here goes Randall. Looking lively and dangerous.
Bristol got the penalty advantage from scrum, so they can have a bit of a free shot here. that penalty will be back in the corner of the pitch.
Joyce, and they go to work with their driving game again. Through dividends and Hughes, poised, breaks, here he goes, heading for Simmons, who makes his tackle. Atwood drives hard into Almonds. Thomas wants it, he's being held in. Luatua feeds it on to Afoa. Here's Luatua himself heading for the post. Randall, again they go from short range, this is Capon.
Looks all offside there, the Chiefs, but referee's happy. I like the way that Bristol are having a go at soft edges, a little bit wider out.
Trying to assemble in good time here, Bristol, to organise themselves. John Afoa trundles up. Agonisingly short. Randall now putting width on the ball. And here goes Randrandra! When you need the spark, up he pops.
The direct pass to Randrandra.
Took the ball,
May or may not know. I thought that might have just gone forwards off Woodburn for a minute, but referee Dixon is happy. Here's Simmons trying to bustle his way into 22. Joe Simmons, Devoto, Woodburn.
No!
Sam Maunder onto the field at 9, by the way, for Exeter here, brother of Jack. Bristol still working so hard defensively. And the Chiefs are struggling. Look at the commitment. Alapati Leua, the latest, straight to his feet to compete. Just making it so hard for Exeter to punch any meaningful holes at this point. Simmons, Slade, held by Randrandra, who forces him into even heavier traffic.
There's a maul to start with.
0 down, it was a stunning comeback to win by 20 points to 17. Here goes Pietau, he's stepped past Maunder and he's causing all sorts of havoc in the Chiefs' defensive line. Randall, Bristol on the front foot and beginning to fizz. Offsets Leua. Tricky one for Hepburn, who did well, tries the left foot spiral.
A bit of Aussie rules, that, wasn't it? Beautiful attempt, just drops it with two hands onto his foot.
Quite the distance that he might have envisaged in his dreams. However, Gray takes it up here for Exeter.
Force anything here. Exeter going to kick the ball back to them. They've got to be tidy in this area, manage the game correctly.
Oh, just overran that a tiny bit. And, Randall's been hit pretty hard.
Please. No. There's a tackle.
Have a scrum half at the minute. Randall's down, so Sheedy's going to need to step in and attempt a box kick.
Yeah, still down, Randall. In the meantime, space opening up here for Exeter potentially. Slade releases Devoto. Cover defence really strong, totally committed, and Devoto did well to stay in field. Maunder for Walsh. Tackle made by Joyce. Simmons, Devoto, Witten, again that pass, the penultimate pass, the final pass, just in behind the man.
Knock on.
And Joe Simmons makes way for James Short, which will allow for Henry Slade to move to Hughes, pops it away. It's fired deep by Uren.
Smart play from Nathan Hughes there. He could have easily just picked that ball up, and he just...
Luatua.
He's kept his anchor point. 7's gone. Advantage.
Penalty advantage for pulling down the maul. Randrandra was flying through at high speed. Find Kevin totally compelling, and Bristol have claimed